no matter what you believe in, we're spiritual beings. If you go back to that and you connect with that, I think you'll excel. You'll do a lot and you'll end up having conversations with people you need to talk to. Like, this isn't like the way we met. The photographer wanted a favor. Let's call it what it is, right? And other shops are like, no. I see through this. Like, I'm always doing research. I know about you guys, this, that, and the third. I'm like, yeah, fucking come through it. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, that's
and look
awesome.
Look
like,
where we are now.
Come
right?
do your, and now we're here.
Yeah,
having a dialogue. Now, shout out to your photographer. And I'm
Lorenzo.
I'm not saying Lorenzo. Again, this is not towards Lorenzo. Lorenzo's an amazing guy, an amazing photographer, or so it seems. But in the industry, the Lorenzo of this story would have had a big problem with this now. You understand?
Yeah.
Like how the industry works now? Like I'm
not catching it.
Okay. Lorenzo, this isn't a Lorenzo.
It's not about Lorenzo. He's just an example.
Photographer, just the
photographer
photographer
called for a favor to do a photo shoot. We meet, energies connect and align. We need to have a conversation. Photographer wants to micromanage all of it because photographer
feels like they made the connection, yeah,
and has you guys signed to something where you don't move unless the photographer.
Right, I see what you're saying.
That's the way that,
which is not the way that it happened. It was just
not at all,
not at all.
But now, so when that happens, and now this interview gets hundreds of thousands of views, and now all of a sudden people are asking for a part 2, or you guys are doing even larger interviews. Now the photographer feels like he's cut out of the situation, which causes friction, and that's the energy that I can't align myself with because that type of stuff zaps at me. That's the industry.
Mm-hmm. We call those energy vampires, or I call them energy vampires. It's people that just no matter who they're around, they just suck the life out of you. They're always trying to take from you and never trying to give anything to you. And I call them energy vampires, and I try to remove all of those people from my life because, let's be honest, it's you reap what you sow. The more you give, the more you receive, right? That's what it's about, okay? And there's people that don't want to give. People that only want to take. They want to take, they want to take, they want to take, whether it's, taking your connections, taking your money, taking your energy, taking whatever it is. All they want to do is take.
Wait, go back to that taking your energy. That's the most powerful one.
Well, that's what I say is they're energy vampires. They suck the energy out of you, and you can feel it. Like when you're very positive guy, very, open, very positive. You're high energy,
thank you,
loving, kind of guy. We feel the same about us. But whenever you get around these people, these energy vampires, you can feel it. You can just feel like your energy just drops down to their level, right?
And I think that's why what attracts me to a cigar and a cigar lounge so much, because you don't really get those energy vampires too often when you're smoking a cigar or you're in an environment like this. That's why I think at least I gravitate towards a lot, because it's usually good people, smart people, fun people, loving people. And I always say, you don't really find too many other industries where, like you said, the music industry doesn't, or the industry that you're in, booking, music, entertainment.
That I was in.
They were in.
Sorry,
yeah. We're gonna talk about the cigars in a second, but
you don't find too many industries that's more of a cohesive, loving, endearing, encouraging environment. Like we talk about it all the time. Like we have our own cigar, obviously. Basically, everyone that comes on our podcast who has a cigar should be a quote unquote competitor. Right. We're like, hey man, bring your cigar and let's promote it. Yeah, let's hear about it. Let's learn your cigar. Mm-hmm. What other industry would be like that? If you bring in gym members, gym owners, they'd be like, no, fuck that gym. Come to my gym. I don't want to promote his gym. Fuck that gym. It's
who else?
It's a very good industry where you're not introduced to too many energy vampires. You gotta have your once a litter, but not too often.
I don't think that the blueprint for the cigar industry has been laid out properly yet. To be honest,
well, that's what we're here for, man.
I don't think that people truly understand how far this industry can go outside of the leaf and making those connections.
And that's what it's about, right? What you said earlier in this podcast is that it's more than just the act of smoking tobacco.
Yeah.
Cigars are more than just smoking tobacco.
Right.
It's more of a social experiment.
It's a social experiment. Yep.
I love that.
I love it.
Yes.
That's what it is. And it brings people together from all different walks of life, no matter what your background is, where you're from, what your religion is, what you believe in, if you're on the left side, if you're on the right side, if you're in the middle. It doesn't matter. You sit down, you have a cigar, it brings people together.
Here's the reality situation. If you own a cigar brand, and you're one of those old grandfathered in cigar brands that people know and love, I need you to fire your entire team and start over because you're killing the industry.
Well, that's why we you know,
This is gonna be a good clip right here.
I know, I love it. But this is like what we're trying to do is we're trying to bring, and we get a lot of applause for this. Is that we're trying to be that new age, like the newer, you know, like you said, most of the cigar industry is antiquated. It's a lot of older roots,
Right.
Which I mean, you know, granted, there's nothing wrong with that. There's people that have established brands for years, and they're still great brands. They're still knocking it out of the park.
Right.
So, but you know, we're in the 21st century. There's technology. There's newer platforms that can be utilized to grow it even more. That I feel like some people aren't utilizing. Right. Like I think that we are the only cigar brand that also has a podcast, and podcasts are the big thing, right? Podcasts are huge. And I feel like some of these other brands, like to your point, is why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you using social media, using podcasting, using YouTube, using all of these things to grow your brand even more? You're just kind of relying on the old ways, which may work and continue to work because you have established brand, but it's like, what's the next step for the cigar industry? You can't stay in that world forever.
People that you rely on are getting older, and there's more newer people coming in.
The stuff you've done 100 years ago isn't going to work right now.
Be careful. Be careful with the next words you say, because what happens is that as this industry changes and morphs, those same people are looking for the next route of direction, and you don't want to give the blueprint away to snakes.
Oh no,
So be very, very careful.
Are you referring to like if we selling off?
No, he's saying if we have a vision of where we want to go, don't really share it. Don't give it to the older brands. Let us pave the way.
Yeah,
so
and
they
let them follow.
Yeah.
Like there's a guy from Casa 1910 Tobacco. Shout out to Anya. She's a sweetheart. I think you guys follow her.
Probably.
She has her own cigar line.
Who's this?
Anya Ramirez.
Probably.
Yeah. Down in Florida.
Yeah, she's a
For
sweetheart.
sure.
I love her, right? She gives me this guy's contact. His name is Manolo, I think. And they were all I had to do was buy my flight. The cigars were taken care of. The food was taken care of. The lodging and transportation was all taken care of. It was in Mexico in November. I didn't go, but the reason for me not going had nothing to do with his presentation. He had a beautiful presentation. It's just some life stuff came up where I couldn't go.
Right.
That's such an ingenious idea. Like, people think, like, you would think that it cost millions of dollars to cultivate tobacco. It doesn't. Right? Like, this is literally an industry where a cigar, and tell me to shut up if I go too far left.
Never.
Dude, a cigar fully banded from your favorite manufacturer coming into the state costs no more than like $1.60 a fucking cigar. The price starts getting jacked up when you have to deal with taxes and fees and import fees.
Oh, don't we know?
And then you have your wholesale costs, and then the shop has to pretty much double it and then add on the 30% sales tax, 100% in New York.
It's doubled every time.
That's where you end up getting a $20, $22 cigar.
Yeah, that $22 steak don't cost more than $3 to make.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but it all starts with the farmer who has a relationship with his or her plants and soil, where they put enough nitrogen in it and they take care of it and really love their plants to make that product. And so it's not an industry that you can pretty much hold by the balls, because anyone can figure it out and do it if they have the knowledge and access to land.
But people don't want to.
Exactly.
People don't want to learn.
They don't want
People don't
to
want
learn.
to. They want the easy route. Like
They
we always
want-
like, my parents always said, if it was hard, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
100%.
But it's not. It just takes time. It takes research. It takes the knowledge to learn.
The biggest
about
thing I think about doing anything is just getting it started. Just doing the action of just doing it.
and realizing that it's gonna suck in the beginning.
You're gonna
Like
suck.
you think we tell people all the time. Anytime they start listening to us, we say, listen, just go to episode 100. Fuck the first 100 episodes. Said episode 1 to like 25, 1 to 50 sucked. It was awful. Our first ever episode, there was no microphones. There was an iPhone with no lighting, no nothing, just an iPhone, and it was trash.
We had nothing in the studio. It was a rug and two chairs.
trash.
I love it.
But you learn, and like when we first said we would never be doing this, we would have no clue how to do this.
Right.
But you learn. You dive in head first, and then you figure it out. And then it gets better and better better. And you might take you're going to take a bunch of L's, right? But like, what's his name? Ray Cashcare shout out to Ray Cash Care, who's a fellow guest. He said there's wins, and he goes, there's W's and there's L's. There's wins and there's lessons.
I love it.
And he says it's not a loss. It's only a loss if you don't learn from it. If you learn from it, it becomes a lesson, and then you don't make the same mistake twice. You grow from it. You get better, and that's how it is.
This is how you know that the energy is synced. You know how Instagram has this stupid feature now where you can leave like a note in your DM?
I don't like it, but I do it anyway.
What mine says.
All right, hold on.
To the far left.
You can do what now on the Instagram?
Read that.
You can leave notes up top. Yeah, it's like aim. It's like a aim away message, basically. It's kind of like a story. It stays up for 24 hours, but it's a note.
Be like taking a shower, BRB. Like one of those?
Look at this. Oh, this is wild. Yo, he says you're either a blessing or a lesson.
A blessing or a lesson?
A blessing or a lesson.
Fact, bro. Wow. That's good. I like that one.
Wow. Look at that. I'm not no joke. It says right here.
I get that tatted across my chest.
You're either a blessing or a lesson.
I can't make this shit up, bro. Energy's real.
A lesson or a lesson.
See?
You just said that.
Love it.
You did.
Love it.
That's pretty fucking wild.
I mean?
Dude. So this is. I mean, all right. So I'm gonna take a little. I'm gonna keep this going. I want to take a little turn. So.
Oh, I'm gonna adjust my pants. My shit's all bundled up. Okay. I'll keep readjusting.
I might have to light up another stogie, but okay. So let's Eric adjust his situation.
Got some ball bulge going on.
Yeah, if it's not grease and sweat in my eye, it's me trying to fix all my shit.
You gotta adjust. All right,
my wife's always like, Eric, fucking stop grabbing your balls. You're always fixing your shit. I'm like,
why'd you take your pants off? My balls was hot.
My balls is hot.
All right, so we talk about what we were doing back in the 20s with the booking stuff. You don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And we talk about how you went on a journey to learn different just different belief systems, different spiritual beliefs, different religions.
You got like a radio voice going on. You're not really like the loud rambunctious stuff. You're like very like.
Yeah, you should listen to how it sounds in headphones.
Radio talk.
Sounds good.
Oh yeah.
Did you pick up that reference I was saying before? DJ Easy.
DJ
okay. So I wanna learn about your cigar journey.
I got you.
Okay, so how did you get into cigars? Do you remember your first cigar? And then what ultimately led you into owning a cigar lounge?
This fucking beautiful lounge.
Dude, I had my first cigar when I was like 19, 20 years old.
Do you remember what it was?
It was a Romeo and Juliet, the 1875.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up.
That's like the cigar that everybody starts with, right?
So that was my first. The Bully, the 1875 Bully. That was the first cigar. Like I'm talking about real premium cigar.
Yeah,
not a
Swisher, black and mild Swisher Sweet.
Okay, I used to smoke the Swisher Sweets in college at Al Capone.
I still say I can't remember my first cigar, but I'm 90% sure it was a Romeo and Juliet.
That's wild. That was your first ever one.
And my second cigar was a Punch.
Okay.
Right. And it was something that I would do once in a blue moon. I might have a cigar like once every 3-4 months. And it was the most relaxing experience ever. And then all of a sudden it started gravitating to me into the industry, but I didn't know that I would be involved with it. I just knew that I enjoyed it and I enjoyed what came along with it. Right? When I shifted to New Jersey, I said, you know what? I'm only going to help brands that I deem fit. Whether that's SEO, digital marketing, bringing in sponsors, vendors, whatever the case may be. I said, I'm only going to do it if the energy aligns itself correctly. So I had came into this shop because this shop used to be run. It was only this side here, and it used to be run by an asshole. People don't like to call him that, but I don't give a damn. Like he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, you wouldn't say it on here unless you would say it in front of his face.
Yeah, I said it in front of his face. He was a piece of shit, but he wasn't always a piece of shit. He used to be a nice guy. Something happened where he just the flip switched and he just
he let that dark side.
Too many energy vampires.
Probably he let his circle.
And he had a big dog in here that was like biting people and stuff like that. And this area used to be a big wall and there was like an office in here. It was weird. And I met Jerry, my partner here, and Jerry was like,
shout out to Jerry.
Yeah, shout out to Jerry, man. I love Jerry. Jerry Casero, what's up, brother?
Is that Jerry with a J or a G?
J Jerry. He's from Canarsie too.
Okay.
How weird is that?
Jerry Gallo.
How weird
Gallo.
is that? Jerry Casero.
Joey. That's Joey.
Mr. Italiano.
Not Joey Gallo.
I love
Joey
his
Gallo's
family
dead.
too, man. Jerry has an amazing wife and an amazing son. He's a great guy.
So he grew up in Canarsie too?
Yeah, he's from Canarsie.
Oh,
Small
shit.
world, right? So I have a conversation with him and the old owner, and I'm like, dude, this is the piece I want, and this is what I'm willing to buy in for, and let me know what you want to do. And Jerry just looks at me. He doesn't even know me. He's like, hold on. He sends me a text. He's like, just hold on. Like, all right. While the other guy was like, oh, we don't need a third partner here. Blah, 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 blah.
He's the asshole guy.
Yeah. I was like, all right, no problem. So I was a member of like 2 different cigar shops in New Jersey, meeting people, connections, this, that, and the third. I was like, all right. So when I got a phone call one day that the guy was gone, not death, but like out of the business, I was like, well, I'm not coming back to this shop. Fuck this shop. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't like the energy that had came off before. But then Jerry's like, no, I own it. I'm like, all right, let me come see you. So I come see him, and Jerry and I have a big heart-to-heart. And that heart-to-heart leads to a beautiful relationship.
And at the time, you were just, you had got into cigars and really loved what cigars gave to you.
Yeah, like I had a couple clients that I was starting to do some write-ups for, some articles for, and stuff like that.
How long ago was this?
This was 3 years ago.
Okay.
No, I'm lying. 2 years ago.
So what?
Very recent.
2020.
Very recent.
So you
right before COVID.
Okay.
So you went from you were smoking cigars. You were coming up, and at this point, you really loved cigars. You loved the community. You loved what they gave you. They gave you that relaxation. That I always say you can reflect on the past and think about what you've done correctly or incorrectly, and now you can do it better. You can visualize the future.
Let me dive in.
So now you get into this point where you say, "Hey, listen, I want to be a part owner here."
Let me dive in. I do a lot of research, right? What are the cigar shops are around here? What are they doing right? What are they doing wrong?
And how can you make it better?
How can I make it better? Why are there no events? Why are there all the same type of events? Why do these events suck? I don't like the people who are throwing these events. Like, nothing against them. It's just weird. Like, what about the people in our age and demographic and people who, want to dress like us, and where are they going to go? Why do I have to go to Club Magnudo?
Why do I got to go to Manhattan?
Why do I have to get that vibe there? Why can't I get it out here? Something's weird. Why are there so many racial innuendos at this other shop over here? And you know what I mean? Just start asking questions.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what?
Going back to why? Why is it this?
Let me throw some events in here. Let me see. Let me test the water. This place is 20 minutes away from Manhattan, right? It's not like the other places that are 5-10 minutes away. So you got to want to come here or be in the area of like Paramus, Hackensack, stuff like that, right? It's not, you're not going to say, yo, I'm in Queens, man. Let me drive to New Milford, New Jersey and go get a cigar and go to this event. Dude, start doing events. They start coming. So, oh shit. Let me book a jazz band here. Let me pull in Uncle Nearest as a liquor sponsor. Let me see what that does. Let me put it on Eventbrite. Oh, I came here from Texas with my wife, and I own a cigar shop not Texas, excuse me. I own a cigar shop in Virginia. That's what the guy told me. He's like, yo, you're welcome here anytime, bro. We saw it on Eventbrite, and then we looked online, and we saw these beautiful flyers. We saw pictures of different colors of people. We saw that there were some women here. Like, we're gonna come support
people from every background.
I'm like, all right, let me try something else. And then all of a sudden, I'm just like, thank God, all of our events have been packed. All of them, right? And then you start seeing these same cigar shops that could have hired me to consult for them, trying to copy my ideas, and they still can't get it right because they don't understand the special sauce.
Mm-hmm.
And then the cigar industry, you can't run ads on. I don't know if people know this or not, but like you'll never see a cigarette commercial, a cigar commercial.
Yep.
You'll never see an ad on Facebook about cigars because it's literally illegal to do so. And
but you can advertise on the Burndown podcast.
That's true, right? So now I had to figure out creative ways to promote not tobacco, but let you know tobacco's involved without actually promoting tobacco.
Yes.
And it was like, all right, jackpot. You know what I mean? And so when that paperwork was signed and I got a piece of the shop, I was like, Jerry, let's take off, man. And so now we just changed like everything. Like there used to be like membership prices here and stuff like that. Got rid of that. Like now there's monthly membership fees of which you get like a special, I can't give the special sauce away, but you get something every month.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Not like these places where you're just paying in to come
all
sit
you get
down
is a box.
And you get a box. Like, no, like this is a customer service hospitality industry. Let's do it the right way. Like I do a lot of things with LH Cigars. Shout out to Nick.
Yeah, is that the one right there that you were gonna?
No. This is actually this is a Amazon based. This is a
CAO, right?
Oh,
CAO.
come on, that's a great stick.
Amazing cigar.
That's a great
that
stick.
Jen gave me. Shout out to Jen Moxie. I love you.
That cigar is actually, for people who don't know, that cigar is a very unique leaf that's in that cigar. It's called the Braganca leaf, and it comes from the Amazon. And
Brazil.
it was that
Braganca.
that is a very unique flavor.
Yes.
Very unique flavor.
I don't
Almost
think
like
I still yet to smoke that
it's
one.
almost like you get a very damp leaves. Oh, it's great. Anyway,
Man, I get like rabbit fur from it. And
it's
like,
great. It's great.
rabbit
When they
fur.
first came out with
fresh
that.
notes of coffee and panties. So
In the morning.
no. So now, I mean, let's do some math. Let's. I'll give this one away. If I'm charging, let's just say $1,000 a year for a box. Now you're not entitled to. You're not required to come. You can come whenever you want to come. You paid for the year for the box. Those metrics don't work for me. Let's charge a monthly price where you get an incentive to come back every month because we're giving you something of which I won't share. If you want to find out, you can go to leafcigarlounge.com or go to the Instagram. Sorry for the plug. Anyways,
Shameful. Not shameful.
Shameful, but not shameful.
let's do that. And then they're like, wait a minute. So I can pay this and I'm spending this amount on cigars every month anyways. It makes more sense to do that. And now we can have unlimited memberships. I don't give a fuck about the boxes anymore.
Yeah, if you want a box, great. If you
So
don't
let
want a
me
box,
ask you a question. What happens if we get 200 memberships here? What do I do next?
go for 300. Go for 400.
What
Get
do
a
I
bigger
do
spot.
next? Or open
Another spot?
and another spot.
Yeah. Get another
And
spot.
Another
Yeah.
spot. I found a way to make unlimited income in the tobacco industry.
And then you can even do this is just spitballing, but you even have you have 3 different let's say you open up 3 different lounges now. You can say, all right, well, you have X membership, which is you get your membership into one lounge, or you do the next level and you pay, let's say it's $100 a month. You get access to your local lounge. Mm-hmm. But if you pay $200 a month, now you have that same privilege, but in all 3 lounges. And you're now a member of all 3 lounges. And it's a higher month. And that's
So let me ask you a hypothetical. What happens if we get 1,000 people to do that?
just keep opening spots.
And then what happens?
You get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
You could sleep at night and make money.
You just keep getting bigger and bigger. And then you just,
Residual income.
You're making money in your sleep.
LeonandConsultants.com. Get a consultation, right? But
Plug
dude,
away, my friend.
you see how fast we just broke that down?
And it's, you know what it is too? It's
And
it's
it's
such
not
it's such a
rocket
simple.
science.
It's such. That's what I'm saying. It's logical. It's logical, right? Because most people say, "Well, I'm maxed out with. I can't get any more members." Well, why not? Like, what's limiting you from?
even if like, this is my way of thinking. Even if this was the only amount of boxes you had, right? And you're like, fuck, I can't sell any more boxes here. Then there's got to be another. You have to think of another incentive.
Yeah,
You can't just stop. You can't just say, fuck it, I'm done.
You know what happened? I sat down with myself and like, you see this candles lit here? I'm big on candles
Love
because
candles.
candles reflect energy. And I sat there and I was like, dude, if we couldn't sell cigars, could this business still work?
Or memberships, it can.
Exactly. Because if there was not one cigar that could be sold here, if there was no tobacco license here, but it was just a license for a private lounge and establishment to be able to do whatever you want within the law,
Yeah,
could you open a shop with proper humidification,
of course.
and air filtration, and say,
Yeah.
you know what? We're going to have cigars in here and we're going to have BYOB and this, that, and the third. Could you make that business model work?
Yeah, 100%.
Hell yeah.
100%.
Now, we just had a very common sense intellectual conversation, right? You'd be surprised people don't think like that.
Because now it becomes, all right, the membership is basically paying for you to stay open. Like, the membership covers your costs of operation. And then now you have, now you're selling cigars. Every cigar you sell is gravy. It's on top of that.
Right.
Even if the cigars went away, business still runs. But now you can sell cigars, and it's just icing on the cake.
I want listen, in a perfect world, after this interview, I need 10 cigar shops to call me and pay me. Seriously. Because the amount of conversations that I've had with people where they say you can't make millions selling cigars.
That's
and this
bullshit.
is a commodity and this
That's
is something that we
bullshit.
do. No, bro,
That's bullshit.
Small-minded
you
thinking.
just haven't
Yeah.
figured it out. Like,
That's bullshit.
give me your cigar shop. Like, let me buy it from you. I'll make $1 million.
I feel like you can make
Yeah.
$1 million with anything. You just need an idea. How come you can make $1 million with fucking Play-Doh bullshit? Why
Yeah.
can you make $1 million?
I mean, look at
with
this.
little
There was
keychains?
a movie, and I forgot what movie it was. But they talk about maybe it was Cocktail with Tom Cruise. I can't remember, but they talk about the drink umbrellas. It's an umbrella on a toothpick, and it's not a stirrer. It's not used to stir the drink. It's a decorative piece that they put in these, tropical drinks. It's a little umbrella. Somebody came up with the idea that I'm going to take a toothpick, I'm going to put a paper umbrella on it, and sells millions of these things. And they probably cost a penny to make that. I mean, in bulk, it probably costs them nothing. And they sell it for maybe 5 cents, and they're making 5x of what it costs them. And it's a simple idea. Like I said, it has no, practical use. It's not like you're using it to stir the drink. It's no practical use. People just take it out and they throw it out. But it's a decorative piece, and they sell millions. So if you can make millions selling that,
Toothpicks,
right? Toothpicks. You're selling toothpicks. You make a million easily.
I think at the end of the day, it just takes a little bit of thinking and a little bit of effort.
And there was probably somebody when he came up with that idea. He said, "Hey, I'm going to put an umbrella on a toothpick. I'm going to sell them for people and drinks." People probably looked at him and said, "You're fucking crazy."
Yeah.
And he says, "Watch me." And now he probably has, I don't know how many factories. I don't know who makes it, but I saw that. I said, "Motherfucker,
dude." There was a man who decided to sell books online. Don't give it away. Don't give it away. Don't give it away.
Here we go, baby.
Who's that?
Oh.
And people were like, "Are you out of your fucking mind?"
Yeah, you're dumb.
And then he recognized that there were competitors overseas that had similar business models, selling clothes and toys, because everything is made in this one particular country. And he said, "You know what? We're not going to bring the manufacturer over there. What we'll do is we'll hoard tens of thousands of different items that we know are going to sell during certain seasons and this, that, and the third. And we're going to open up warehouses. And the American people, because they just like to spend all their money on stuff they don't need, on plastic and pieces of shit, they're going to buy." And he's now the richest man in America or the world.
He's top. He's definitely top in the world. Definitely in America, I believe.
Here's the thing: is all right. So people that don't know that man is Jeff Bezos. Okay,
JB.
But yeah, one of the richest in the world. Because there's a lot of people say, I personally believe that he's the richest. Well, it's between him and Elon Musk, but they're the richest on paper.
Right.
Okay, because I guarantee you, there's some guy over in the Middle East, some oil guy or a family that is trillionaires, but it's just off the books, under the table.
Yeah.
Guarantee that's, but you're right. It's you have an idea, and it's those energy vampires that try to suck the life out of you and say that your idea sucks. It's like, no, I have an idea. I'm going to make this work. And then you come up with a challenge, or you come up to a challenge. You say, all right, well, I can't go that way, but can I go this way? Can I kind of reroute and go around and go this? Like you said, okay, what if somebody said tomorrow, they said in New York State, you can't sell cigars anymore.
Right.
You'd be fine. Okay. I can open up a private lounge.
Yeah, I'd be perfectly fine. I don't care.
And you can't sell cigars in it, but people can come and smoke their own cigars.
It actually would save me money because I wouldn't have to buy inventory.
Yeah.
And it's just a hurdle you got to get over, or if it's too high of a hurdle, you can't jump over it. You can go under it, you can go around it. You just got to figure out a way.
I'll give you another one. People think that Elon Musk is this brilliant man. He is, right? When was the first electric car? What year did their first electric car come out?
I remember the Honda.
Was it a Prius? Was it a Toyota Prius?
I remember Honda.
Way back. I'm just thinking of the first mainstream.
The DeLorean?
You got to go way back.
Yeah, 88. Take it up to 88.
Come on. Just throw something out there. Way back. When do you think the first electric car was built?
Nikola Tesla?
When?
What year? Give me a year gap.
I don't know.
35.
And it's not the 1900s.
Okay.
Late 1800s?
The late 1800s. The first
Was it
electric
Nikola
car
Tesla?
was built.
No, it was an electric bike.
Not the actual Tesla car. But
was it a car? Okay, I can imagine it being a bike.
And the industry said, no, we need oil. And they shut it down. Right? Elon Musk, I'm assuming, probably reads more than any of us will ever read.
Yep.
Right? Was able to take that technology, modernize it, and we're going to make the Tesla. And guess what? You don't have to go to a dealer to get raped on fees. You're going to be able to buy it at the price that we set. I mean, it's changed now, obviously, because the market's very volatile and stuff like that.
Your point is,
But initially, if we say the car costs between $30,000 and $40,000, then the car is going to cost between $30,000 and $40,000, and we're going to ship it to you. But it's just going to take a couple of weeks, and it might even take a couple of months, but you'll get your car, dude.
It's basically like the Amazon of of cars.
But yet and still,
Because people don't have to move.
but
They
yet
can
and
just
still, if I want a Benz, I got to go to a Mercedes-Benz dealership where the MSRP on the car is $125,000, and I'm lucky if I get the car for $180,000 because I have to deal with the bullshit. If I'm sitting on the board, if I'm the CFO, if I'm one of the head marketing people at Mercedes-Benz, I'm asking myself, why don't we just follow this guy's business model? People are stupid. Balenciaga.
Oh, let's get into this.
Uh-oh.
Man. Oh, man.
Dude,
Let's get into this.
You know, as a marketer, as someone who, I don't think that I'm smart, but I think that I'm logical, right? I don't think anyone's really smart. I think to the more knowledge you have, the more you realize you don't know shit.
It's a good way to put it.
You know what I mean?
Do it, yeah.
And so, like, I asked myself, I say, hey, if what the fuck? Oh, Balenciaga, I would assume, is spending millions of dollars on marketing. They have to be, right?
Yeah.
What's up, my brother? No, you're fine. Hello. How are you? Good to see you. My daughter Isreal. I know. What's up with you, man? It's good to see you. This is a great guy, by the way.
Oh, he's got a box here, so
got
he
a
must
box.
be a good guy.
How are you? Oh, well, thank
that's
you very
awesome.
much. Thank you.
I'll see you later, bro.
Merry Christmas.
Great guy. This guy owns the second largest battery company in Dominican Republic. Anyways,
Love it.
great guy. I'm sorry, Steve. What the fuck was I saying?
Balenciaga.
Oh, you spend millions and millions of dollars on marketing. There was no one there that said, hey, maybe we shouldn't put child pornography things around kids on an ad and
I say
with blood and stuff
I think
like
that
that.
all the time. Like, how did that get through? Who signed off on that?
Listen,
one?
I agree on that. I have a marketing brain as well. I graduated with a marketing degree. I know marketing, right? But I also, on the opposite side of that, my one logical brain was like, why the fuck would anyone do that? That's just ridiculous.
Right.
But then also someone said, well, what if we do this and it causes a giant uproar? And then people probably end up going to forget about it, but they'll still remember Balenciaga. That's the other way, I think. It's like,
It's
Rick
kind
Ross.
of along
Rick
the lines
Ross
of
became a huge fucking rapper,
Right.
but he was a correctional officer. He talked about dealing drugs. You know, at the end of the day, people are like, fuck it, he makes good music. He seems like a fucking cool guy. I love Rick Ross, the rapper. My also logical brain was people are going to be flipping out. Balenciaga is going to be in everyone's mouth. It's going to be in every social media news outlet, blah, blah, blah. People are going to be flipping out. And after a few months, people are going to forget about it. But you know what? They're still going to think Balenciaga.
You think they're smart?
well, you know what's gonna. Well,
Smart?
here's the thing.
I don't think it's. I don't.
Here's
From
what's
an
gonna
integrity,
happen.
integrity standpoint, no, I don't think it's smart.
Here's-
but I think it keeps the name in people's mouths, though.
Here's what's gonna happen. Is there's a term called. Have you ever heard of the term recency bias?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so recency bias is used a lot. I first heard the term in sports betting. I'm a big sports bettor. And recency bias is people only remember what happened most recently, right? So it happens in sports betting where you have a team, right, where let's say Alabama, okay, football team. Let's say they're number one in the country, right? They're great, they're winning, they're crushing teams, but they have one bad week, okay, and they lose. And they just have a bad game and they're terrible. The following week, everybody bets on the other team because of what they saw last week. They said, oh, Alabama got smoked last week. They suck. They're going to lose this game. And everybody bets on the other team.
Yeah.
So whenever we look at that, whenever my buddy and I look at that, it's recency bias. People only remember what happened last week, but they don't remember the first 10 games when Alabama was crushing teams. They only remember the last game, so they bet on the other team, and then Alabama comes out, and the old Alabama comes, and they destroy the team, and they win. So it happens like what I think will happen with Balenciaga is they put out this negative press because any press is good press, right? Yep. So they put this out, and everybody's ripping on them, but they're going viral, right? Their name is going viral. They're trending on all these different things. And again, I don't agree with it. I think it was stupid.
Yeah.
I think whoever signed off on that is dumb, but they're going to do something 6 months later. They're going to come up with something that's very, very good, and that's all that people are going to remember. Right? People are going to forget what happened 6 months ago. They're just going to remember what happened last week. And Balenciaga, did you see that? They donated all this money to this foundation. They're so good. Yeah, but what happened 6 months ago when they were promoting child pornography?
I want to disagree with you, but I can't because there are. I hate to go like way left with this, but there are people who have killed people of color in this country that are still walking around in the towns that they live in, and people are just letting them rock.
Out of sight, out of mind, in a sense. That's what it is.
That's another thing that pisses me off too. But how much time we got, man? Like,
I mean, we're on 1:45. I mean,
Are we?
Yeah, 1:45.
dude, we might have to do a part 2 if it's all
Well,
right.
we just keep going and we break it up into 2 parts.
Dude, let me
Yeah.
tell you something, man.
I'm gonna have to smoke another cigar.
I'm about to-
we can take a quick break. Let me just get this off. We live in a world where I'm not going to say the names of these people that lost their lives because there's a lot of hurt behind it. But it pretty much was the foundation for Black Lives Matter, which ended up being a big scam, financial scam, because the girl freaking bought like 5 houses and shit like that. And by the way, that was in the news like 2 months ago, and nobody's talking about it anymore. Whatever.
That's what I'm talking
That's what I'm
about.
saying. People forget like what happened.
It goes. It's like it's like almost like a. I don't want to call it climax or zenith, but it's like a certain point where it's like, this is bad. This is ridiculous. Oh my god! And then it's like the next day, it's like, oh, in other news anyway. This happened over here, and it's
Dude,
like
we're oversaturated with news. You know that, right?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Well, the news nowadays, it's like the news used to be just reporting the news, and now it's, everybody's got an agenda that they have to push whatever their agenda is. They got to push it down your fucking throats, and there's so many different outlets nowadays that are just shoving all this crap, and
there's no accountability in the news. It used to be.
Oh yeah, you can say one thing yesterday and say something completely different today, and nobody.
Let me be factual. Let me make sure. Let me check my resources. Let me make sure this is accurate and factual. And okay, it's good. And if they make one mistake, it's like, you fucking asshole, you screwed up. Now it's like, oh, I just got to be the first one to say something. I don't care if it's logical or factual or not. I just got to say it.
I have a theory. There's currently a drought in Mississippi. There's a drought in Utah. There's droughts in California. Droughts in Las Vegas. The one in Mississippi is so bad. Last time I read a couple weeks ago, the water level was down 15 feet. And I don't know if you knew this or not, but Mississippi travels, the river travels all the way up across the United States, and is our major port for delivering goods that are on these large cargo ships, right? No one's talking about it. It hits the news. It's going to affect us. We're going to be fucked. But no one's talking about it. And then during COVID, I kept saying, free the Wiggers. I don't know if you know who the Wiggers are, but it's a group of
Wiggers?
Wiggers.
All right.
What do you mean by that? So it's a group.
I know one type.
It's a group of Muslim. I want to say this right. People in Asia who practice Muslim Islam, and they're being held in concentration camps in China, and it's been like that for a very long time. And they're harvesting their organs. And not only are they doing that, they're also scalping their hair. And there was a large seize along JFK where there was like over $1 million of weave that had came from the Wiggers that was seized. And, the news speaks on it. Shout out to Vice Network. They went there and sent in like hidden, press
cams?
people and body cams and stuff like that. And people were saying, oh, we can give you the best kidneys and livers and stuff like that for cheap and blah, blah, blah. And we live in a world where people will hear this news, but there's not an outrage. There's not a, yo, we got to go free these people, right? Ethiopia. You know what's happening in Ethiopia right now? It's disgusting, right? Like, there's slavery still exists in this world, but we're comfortable.
Oh yeah, I mean, look at where all, like your Balenciaga shit. Where do you think that comes from?
I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that point.
That
right?
comes from people that are getting paid 10 cents a day to make your Balenciaga so they can sell them for $1,000.
Dude, in Haiti, when Haiti had was it the earthquake that shook it up, or was it a something bigger? I think it was an earthquake.
I think it was an earthquake.
It was an earthquake, right? And the Red Cross raised enough money to pretty much support half of Haiti's worth. Last time I checked, DR was worth $60 billion, and Haiti was worth $6 billion. Haiti didn't get any of that money, right? I'm not gonna get political, but what I'm trying to say is that we see it, we read it, and it's just like, oh, let's move on.
And it's kind of like
I agree.
I like how there's, I feel like, okay, it goes along with the agenda too, where I talk about there's only agendas, and if it doesn't fit that, then they're not going to push it, right?
Right.
And it kind of goes along the lines where when you were talking about the Black Lives Matter movement, right? I mean, look at like Detroit and Chicago and all of these places where there are people that are dying the numbers are much, much higher than the areas that they talk about. I said, well, why aren't you talking about that? Like, how come it matters over here, but it doesn't matter over there? I go, that's like something that just gets kind of brushed under the rug. And it's like, if it matters that much, right, it should matter everywhere. It should matter all over, all these places, but they don't talk about those places. They only talk about it right here. And it's like, no, talk about all of it. You talk about how come they're losing their lives on a daily basis, hundreds on a daily basis over here. But nope, we're not going to talk about that one because they don't want to talk about it.
Well, you know what happens. What happens when people talk about it, right? You know what happens, right?
Well, you get canceled.
You get clipped. I.e., Black Panther Party.
It's just that's what I'm. It's to your point is there's certain things that should be talked about they don't because it doesn't fit. Like this is what we got to make people believe.
Can I say something?
You can say whatever you want.
Speak on it.
When Martin Luther King was alive and well, rest his soul. Do you know before he died, he had like a 19% approval rating?
I did not know that.
Amongst his people. And
19%?
19%. They hated him. Do you know why? Because he was getting involved with politics and sitting and meeting with the president. And people don't know why he was meeting with the president. Now, let's paint a picture. I'm going to get all these people together and I'm going to kumbaya and we're going to take a nonviolent effect and we're going to march and protest and do all these great things for the advancement of all Americans together to be one. No separation between creme and people of color. Like, let's all be one, right? The government left them alone, right? They still, like, threw rocks and stuff like that, but I'm talking about the government, right? He was starting something where he was going to do, it was the, and forgive me, guys, it was something along the lines of fair wages and work for everyone in this country. They clipped him. Not only did they clip him, they clipped his brother, found dead in a pool. They clipped his mother in church. They clipped his father. The only person who was left was his children and his wife, right? Let's paint another picture. Huey P. Newton, leader of the Black Panther Party. He had over 1 million people that had become, I want to call it associates of the Black Panther Party, taking up arms legally, started WIC, which is, people who need help with groceries and things of that nature. And there was an article that came out from the president at that time, I won't say his name, where it basically said, we can't afford another black messiah. They clipped him. What happened to the Black Panther Party after they clipped him? Cool. Now let's fast forward, and I'm not correlating what I'm going to say now into these great leaders. But what I'm going to say is that now you get into your Andrew Tates of the world, your Elon Musk of the world, your Donald Trumps of the world, your Candace, what's her name?
Candace Parker.
Candace
Owens.
Candace
Parker
of the world.
Candace Parker's a basketball player.
You get into your Obamas of the world. You get into all these different people, your Ye's of the world, right? That may not be as structurally sound as the great leaders that we had before, but they have something to say, and the agenda will move the needle so much that they get canceled or clipped. You have to silence it, because if you don't silence it, you're going to get clipped. People don't realize this. Did you know if we started a group, I've had these conversations, did you know if we started a group where we put $100 in a month and we're going to meet and we're going to just build each other's businesses? And then it grows to 100 people that are putting in $100 a month, right? Now, we're the leaders of this group, so we start a board, right? You have the board for the year, I have the board for the year, etc. Somebody gets in that's dealing drugs. We don't know who the fuck this person is, right? But it's just putting $100 in. It came in through an affiliate of an affiliate of an affiliate. That's called RICO, my friend. We're all getting clipped.
Yep.
So it's like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Like, if maybe some people know that the message needs to be said. They're just afraid to say it because they value the life that they have here. Maybe not really believing in a better place after we pass on. And they don't want to leave their children, their job, their house, things of that nature. And so they're afraid to say it. But maybe people are aware. They just don't want to.
They're comfortable and they don't want to get uncomfortable.
Maybe it's not even that. Yeah. Maybe they just don't want to push the needle.
Or complacent.
Yeah, they don't want to push the envelope because they don't know what the unforeseeable future looks like.
But that's that's the good point, is that it doesn't matter, okay, what side of the fence you're on. But if you have something that's going to completely shift the narrative,
right,
they silence you immediately. Immediately, because it doesn't fit the agenda that they want to push. And they say, nope, I don't. Like I said, it doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. They're like, nope. we're gonna silence it because that's gonna cause an uproar. That's gonna make people think critically. That's gonna make people, we call them sheeple, right? You're gonna be awakened. You're gonna be no longer asleep. So we gotta silence those. Because we can't have the people like that, right? We got to keep the people reliant on us for all their information, reliant on us for living their lives, so that they don't make something of themselves and they don't basically get off the government teat. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You want to learn how to get canceled? This is how you get canceled. Hey, cigar brands, you don't need to spend $60,000 to $100,000 of an ad space in a Cigar Official magazine. Instead, why don't you link up with people like us and invest that $60,000 so that this podcast can be promoted with your cigar brand at the headway of it, and you'll get 1 million times more impressions, and your metrics and KPIs will be hit by investing that way. Guess what would happen if that went viral?
Cease and desist.
They would shut us down. They would shut us down. But we say, I mean, we take it all the time. It's like, listen,
100%, bro.
Right?
I mean,
this episode got good, man.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Candace Owens, right? I don't know if you follow her, but she made a whole documentary about the whole Black Lives Matter and interviewed all the families that were affected by it. And they're like, no, we didn't receive anything. We don't know what we're talking about. And I thought that was, I just saw the teaser for it. I didn't watch it. But I was like, wow, it's interesting. She's going into these neighborhoods. She's going to the people that were supposed to be helped by it. And they're saying, nah, we haven't seen a dime of that. I thought that was going to blow up. I thought people were going to freak out.
Silenced.
And Candace Owens is a huge popular figure. And it's
Silenced.
I just question life and everything about where it's going.
And it's because of how news and information is spread nowadays, right? It's all, social media. I think, I don't know the exact number, but I would argue that more than 80% of the news and information that people get is from social media. I think that they would probably only get 20% from maybe the news, but everybody gets it on their phone, on Instagram, on TikTok, wherever they get it from. And how do you think that piece of information gets shown to somebody? It's through an algorithm.
Right.
So if they don't want your piece of information getting out, they just flip a switch in the algorithm and it doesn't get sent out.
I saw a very interesting thing. Patrick Bet-David, Valuetainment?
No.
He interviews a lot of big people. He's a big guy.
You might have seen the one of him with Antonio Brown.
He
Probably
interviews.
my face. I watch a lot of.
He interviews a lot of big guys, but he was.
Yeah, he interviewed
was,
Antonio Brown about the was it is it CTS? Is that it?
CTE, but just
CTE,
recently.
sorry.
But yeah, he was like, he was I believe he's Syrian. He was in the Syrian military.
Iranian, I think.
Iranian. And then he became over in America, became a huge entrepreneur. Now he has this huge podcast and YouTube channel. Interviews Kobe Bryant, all these big guys, mobster guys.
Interviewed. Sorry. Kobe Bryant, rest in peace.
And he talked about the recent news with TikTok, saying how U.S. is putting a bill to ban TikTok.
I'm gonna chime in on TikTok.
And he said, I did a social experiment on how why TikTok should be banned, and how certain things with companies not inside of America are utilized. So obviously, China owns TikTok. So he was showing. He posted maybe, I think over a course of 6 months or a year, he had 1,000 TikToks. He did an experiment where the first 500 TikToks, he had all these views. He had views with 1 million to 9 million views, 40 videos. 500 to 1 million, 70, whatever, all these big numbers. And then as soon as he talked about China and why China is bad, all those numbers went down. He did a whole comparison between month 1 to 6 and 6 to 12. And he says,
I'm going to add to this.
This is the algorithm. I talked bad about China, and now look what they're doing. They're demonetized. I talk about entrepreneurship, motivation, real estate, business. And they don't want me to see it. They had also Andrew Schultz. Andrew Schultz was a comedian. He had him on Patrick Bet-David's podcast. And
is this the thing with the kids in China?
So Andrew Schultz says in TikTok in China, the algorithm is towards the kids for engineering, science, big ideas, how to become great. But in the algorithm in America, it's about TikTok dances and stupid videos because they want to fucking make people in America and the kids growing up dumb and stupid. Yeah.
And did you know about that?
Dude, I did not know.
So
it's crazy shit.
So TikTok, the algorithm works differently in different countries. So China owns TikTok, and depending on what country is on the app, the algorithm works differently. So to Eric's point is that in China, the algorithm for children, if you have a child's phone, it limits them to 45 minutes a day on the platform, and it only shows them like science and technology and ideas, how to, learning. But in America, it's unlimited time on the phone, and it shows you like what shows up on your phone is all just stupid dances, shaking your ass and TikTok dances.
And if you look at the
so they're
the
basically
terms and
using.
conditions.
So he was saying that this is like warfare. This is technological warfare, is because they are influencing the younger generation, but in China, they're influencing it in a good way so that these kids grow up building rocket ships and curing cancer. Meanwhile, the kids that grow up in our age, they want to be popular and they shake their ass. So they're dumbing down these countries.
But isn't that your job as a parent to then tell your kids to stop watching?
Yeah,
TikTok
100%.
dances?
100%.
Have you ever heard the terms and conditions of TikTok? Have you heard about that? So Joe Rogan did a whole thing where he said, I read through the terms and conditions of TikTok, and other people have talked about it, but
Right.
China, they say, oh, we don't collect your data, but in the terms and conditions, you read it, it says we collect all the data of your phone model, where you are, your keystrokes, what you look at, your files on your phone. They collect everything on TikTok. If you download TikTok on your phone in America, China has all the access on everything that you do.
Yeah, which is why I
Pictures,
deleted
files,
it. Yep.
keystrokes, searches, so they can figure out. And it's like you said, technological warfare. It's bizarre. It's fucking
Which
crazy.
is why I deleted TikTok the other day.
What?
I deleted TikTok
Yeah, I
the other
know.
day. And you know what's funny? This guy
crazy
even
shit.
had it, and I wasn't even posting on it. I originally got it because TikTok was trending, was going viral. I said, all right, here's another platform that we can get on. And then I heard about that stuff. I was like, nope, done.
Yeah.
Dude, I have a confession to make. I love TikTok.
Many people do.
Many people do.
And I've fallen the whole TikTok because I'm like, fuck. And then, but I keep hearing more about this shit, and I'm like, my wife, she'll just be in bed. I'm like, watch this video of TikTok, and she goes, I love TikTok though. And
I know.
And
I
I'm
know.
like, that's the addiction. And
You want
it's
to hear
like
something else?
These kids, they just watch all these fucking
Here's
videos.
something crazy. So, you know the game, the Angry Birds?
Yes,
You know
of
that game,
course,
Angry
of
Birds?
course.
So the guy who made Angry Birds did research and found out that on Instagram, on TikTok, right? What is the number one action that you do on Instagram and TikTok? Like, what's the number one physical action?
Swipe.
You swipe up.
Yeah.
You swipe up. You swipe up. So he created a game that the main action is to swipe up, because he found out that being on these platforms where you just swipe all day, that action has become where it can release dopamine in your body, where it becomes addictive.
Mm-hmm.
So he created this app to use the same action, and his app blew up because it's the same thing. People were playing this game and swiping up and swiping up and swiping up, and it became addictive because they would release all this dopamine. So that's why Angry
Crazy.
Birds took off. It was because of the swipe action.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Fucking wild is
That's
that?
and I watched the whole. I think it.
Think about 100 years ago, like this action, swipe,
Yeah.
has
So
become
he's
just
a technological drug dealer.
exactly.
Technological dopamine.
How wild is that? How wild is
We're in
that?
the wrong business, man. We got to start selling some technological.
What can we do? What we can do with cigars with the swipe up?
Right?
I love it, man. 2 hours.
Yeah, dude.
2 hours. This is a. This
I'm
is
here
good.
as long as you guys are
This
here.
is
I don't
good.
give a shit.
I mean, you ain't going
yeah,
nowhere.
man.
So we got plenty.
I didn't get a
part two,
chance to finish the stories. There's a lot more stories.
We're definitely gonna come back
There's
for
a lot
two.
more
You know?
stories.
Come on.
We should come back for round 2 and do an event here.
I'm with it.
1,000%.
We do an event.
Have you guys
Posted
done an
right
event
here.
yet?
Yeah, we've done a
We've
couple.
done a few events. Yes.
Yeah.
Have you done something in Jersey?
No,
No.
no, we
This
did
will
it.
be
We,
the Burn Down podcast introduction in New Jersey at Leaf
We're in it.
Cigar Lounge.
I love it.
We're in it.
And
We'll
yeah,
bring in
let's
some of the
definitely do
blueprints. We'll have
Hell yeah.
another interview.
it. Hell yeah.
We'll
let's do it.
have meet and greets. Whoever wants to come down.
Yeah, we did
love it.
one live podcast in Brooklyn,
Bed-Stuy.
in Bed-Stuy, at New York Cigar Fest a couple years ago.
New York
It
Cigar
was
Weekend.
New York Cigar Weekend. It was live podcast. There was a huge event going on, and we interviewed like the owner, the DJ, the different cigar people. It was a good time.
We'll do it.
Yo, I appreciate you guys, man. It was fun.
Well, listen,
LFA-ish.
so here's the time where you get to plug away, man. Okay, so you got to tell the people where they can find you, what the next big thing is. You got any events coming up? This is actually going to air.
A couple of weeks in January. Can't think.
Yeah,
of it.
probably like some Jan. So if you have anything big coming in January or February, stuff like that, the floor is yours, my friend. El Jefe.
All I'm going to say is this. I'm going to keep this very, very short. If you own a business and your business sucks, leonandconsultants.com. If you want a cigar lounge that's non-biased, you can come together, have an enjoying experiment, Oh my God, edit that. An enjoyable experience.
Good thing it's not live.
Come on down to Leaf Cigar Lounge, located 185 Madison Avenue, New Milford, New Jersey. Follow us on all the socials, Leaf Cigar Lounge, leafcigarlounge.com. On a personal level, I know that this year has been rough for a lot of people. I just want to send you all peace, light, and blessings. And feel free to connect with me personally on Instagram. It is mr.mr.alist, mr.alist, and we'll take it from there. I appreciate you guys, man.
All right, we appreciate
Good conversation,
you, man.
brother. We appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us and letting us in the lounge for the second time. Hopefully, many, many times in the future for sure.
Amen.
Thank you for your
right,
time,
man.
brother. Appreciate it.
Bless.